Life breaks everyone, and some are stronger in the places that broke.
We are going to go through trauma, but trauma is an opportunity to change and to reorganize the elements that made up your life. When a person's mind is traumatized, it's like the story that they were telling themselves has ceased to be persuasive, right? And when a story stops being persuasive, it is disorienting, and that, I think, is what trauma is. The period between when your old story breaks apart because of this last straw on the camel's back thing. I mean, we're going to continue to tell ourselves the old stories until it's so glaringly contradictory that it doesn't hold up. So trauma is the period between when that breaks down and when you, from the pieces of the old, build something new. And we'll never glorify the trauma itself, but recognize that in that period, you have a very unique opportunity that will only come along a handful of times in your life to reorganize the story that you tell about yourself to yourself.
Reticular activation system and our ability to rationalize our behavior is so pervasive and so powerful that our brains will rationalize almost anything that it thinks is in its best interest. So if a person gets to a point where they have become addicted to the laziness, what typically is going to happen is their reticular activation system is going to activate in such a way where they're going to justify the laziness. And what's really fucking psycho about this, and super fucking scary, this is scary shit to me, because I've seen this happen to friends of mine, is that they rationalize the laziness with a set of lies to themselves, or like half-truths. But then remember that any time that you lie to yourself, what happens as you build further beliefs on that foundation? More lies, more lies, more lies, more lies, and it becomes a web. Once the person has got addicted to that emotion of laziness, the emotion has entered into their body and it wants to self-perpetuate. So once that person gets in that emotion that they want to sustain it, they desperately want to sustain it, they will typically not come out of it. And actually, they become lost. They're lost now. Because what happens is that they fall too far off the path. And so there's been too much rationalization, too much lying to themselves about why they're doing it, that the only way, oh, and by the way, and this is further sustaining that addiction to the lazy emotions, the only way that they can come back is if they're forced out of it. Something forces them out of it, where it's just too painful to preserve the laziness and to preserve the lies that they would have to come out of it. And so, you know what's cool about hard work? It brings you back to reality again and again and again and again. Because when you take on projects and you have a purpose and you have passion about it, what happens is that you have these little lies and bullshits about how the world should be that you tell yourself, and then it doesn't work out and you're confronted with reality. When you're actually trying to do shit, you're continually confronted with reality. You're out of this white ivory tower bullshit mind state.
Looking at everything almost like a skill set. Everything is a matter of practice. I mean, of course, are you going to be the next Kobe or the next Michael Jordan or the next Albert Einstein or the next Elon Musk? That there might be, of course, a degree of luck and talent, especially in sports, but still, you can become pretty damn good at a lot of things if you put in the effort, if you put in the hours of deliberate practice.
I mean, if other people are putting in 40-hour work weeks and you're putting in 100-hour work weeks, then even if you're doing the same thing, you know that in 1 year you will achieve what they achieve. You will achieve in 4 months what it takes them a year to achieve.
Going to be different for everyone, but we're all asking the same question. It's, how do I live a more meaningful life? And part of that has to do with just changing our focus to figuring out what's important.
On the other side of your pain is something good.
Getting comfortable with fear. Understanding that you can overcome fear, you can overcome doubt, those things that hold you back. Courage is the thing that drives through anything that's going to be in your way and try to hold you back. Courage is the thing that should be the driving factor to get you through whatever that is. You know, growing your tolerance for risk and understanding that failure is part of that process. Mistakes are part of that process. If you're not making mistakes, you're not moving forward. So in order for you to have that kind of mindset, to learn, you gotta test different things. You gotta go, you know, test and pivot, and things are gonna happen. Like, you need to have courage to try new things.
Work. That's the answer to all these questions.
Got it.
Learn things, do stuff, try to sell shit, learn how to make money, work.